who takes care of you? When my mother-in-law, Nina, became ill with dementia, my late husband, George, along with his siblings, Robert and Alma, searched for a plan to help the whole family cope with this horrific diagnosis. We watched the stress take over my father-in-law, Sam, who had been a past president of Jewish Family Services. We called the director, but at the time there were no services in place for this horrific disease. In Sam and Nina's memory, we wanted to help organize support and services for the families in this community. Now I'd like to introduce you to the chair of Wolff Caregivers for JFCS, Cheryl Sarnak. Cheryl, thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. As someone who's personally had my own life so enriched from knowing and learning from Rivka Malka, it is now my extreme pleasure and joy to introduce her to you all tonight. Rivka Malka Perlman is a transformation coach, international speaker, and mother of 8 who authentically celebrates the divine with every life experience. She educates and empowers women through her coaching, powerful live presentations, life-changing retreats, and educational videos. She's the founder of Rivka Malka's School of Coaching and Transformation, a one-of-a-kind immersive program which aims to produce stellar quality female coaches. I assure you that you are all in for a treat this evening. Rivka Malka, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl's in our school, so she's a special favorite. And it's so great to be here. Thank you, JFCS. I'm so honored. This is so awesome. And welcome everyone who is here live, and welcome everyone who is going to be watching this later. This is a big event. It's in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Our hearts are soft, our hopes are high, things are kind of tingly. And this organization is really beautiful. It's really here to help people. So it's a big, big honor for me to step in for even just a few moments to this gorgeous team, to join this gorgeous team and offer some words. And I always like to begin with a prayer. So just ask the Almighty that He bring the message that He wants through me to His beautiful children who are listening to this. And that everyone should experience a healing on some level, healing of their heart, of their hopes, of their mind, and that you should be able to take away something for real for your life, for the really difficult yet exquisitely beautiful life that you're leading. And off we go. So when I was a little girl, my grandmother, she moved in with us. She had Alzheimer's. And I was actually pretty involved in her care. Well, I thought I was involved. I'm sure that my mother did most of the work, but from my little mini perspective, I was very involved. On Friday nights, my parents would go to synagogue and I would stay home, which was like very special. I would sit with my grandmother and I would sing her songs, and it was very special those Friday nights. I would sing her traditional songs like Shalom Aleichem and Eshes Chayil, and it was like a moment of peace and connection that we often didn't have during the other times of the day when there was a lot of nerves and other things going on. And I was only in 8th grade actually when I wrote a big piece on Alzheimer's, and it was like, what was the book called? There was a book called The 36-Hour Day. Ever hear of it? 36-Hour Day, the title itself, you understand it's full of empathy for what a day is like when you're working so hard physically and your heart is hurting so badly, and there's just so much. It's like 36 hours in one day, every day. So that was kind of floating around my house enough that that's where I wrote my report on. And they were like, how's this kid writing this? What's she doing over here? But I was living with it, you know. And they brought it to the principal's office. They're like, are you sure? Like, what's happening? But yeah, I grew up little, and I ended up 1 year volunteering in a nursing home as well. And in later years, actually, my mother's parents also, specifically her father, also suffered with Alzheimer's. So I know that this talk is not only geared towards caregivers of spouses or loved ones of people with dementia and Alzheimer's, but I just wanted to offer my heart space that I don't come to you with some kind of like message, paste the message on your life, but I come to you with a heart of compassion and with empathy for all that I know, and most importantly, for all that I don't know that you experience in your life and in your heart on a daily basis. And you'll hear me talk a lot about the heart. The heart is, it's my domain, it's where I live, it's what's important to me. And it's also because I don't have enough experience to know the practical, sweaty, exhausting details of caretaking. The absolute, the details, the doctor's appointments, the medication, the locking the doors, anything that all of the physical components of really caring for a loved one who has so many more needs than a regular person would have, or who is suffering with illness. So I'm going to just acknowledge all of those really difficult, mind-rattling details that your life may be full of lists and prescriptions and new things and therapist appointment and OT and PT and the whole thing. And that's not going to be our domain for today. We're going to talk about the domain of the heart, because my heart does know pain and loss, and the heart is a living, breathing, beating entity that accompanies every action we do, every list that we write, everything that we're trying to accomplish. It's like the air that we breathe is the air quality deeply affects our lungs, deeply affects our quality of life. So our heart's quality, how it's doing, deeply affects our day-to-day living. So our goal for tonight is to get some tools and some perspectives that can get our heart into a place that it can manage, frankly, okay? We want to be able to manage. And when there is a loved one going through a crisis, whether it be a short-term crisis or a very long-term crisis, such as Alzheimer's dementia, but same thing with a short-term crisis, the heart takes a whipping. It just does, and it needs to respond somehow. So it will oftentimes do one of two things. It will either disintegrate. I've lost my resources. I don't know what to do. I'm crying all day. I'm calling my girlfriend. I'm calling this. I don't even know what to do. I'm just done. Like, I'm regressed. It is simply a weight that is too much for my heart. And thank God that JFCS has support groups, because it's too much for your heart. This is the truth. And so there's this possible disintegration. Then there's the other way. There's the shutdown of the heart. I'm now going to go into executive functioning mode. Okay, fine. This is my reality. Tell me what I need to do. I cannot bear to see what I'm seeing. I cannot bear this reality. I'm just going to manage. I'm going to put a smile on my face. I'm going to make it through. I'm going to be a good advocate, and off I go, and my brokenheartedness is something that is too big for even me to look at. Okay, so we have the disintegration or the shutdown. Again, a support group is going to offer you a safe space to hear other people's experiences, to help you become more safe to your own experiences, that it is possible to feel what you feel, and yet to survive, to manage, to go on. So let's assume that we don't want to be in either one of these places. Let's assume that somehow we understand that this experience, whatever your experience is, whatever painful experience you're going through right now, is on purpose, sent to you by a loving God. That's the assumption we're going to go under. No, we can argue with that. We could say, I am not feeling the love right now at all. I don't know if I believe in God. And if this is what God does, like, check me out of here. Don't talk to me about a loving God. We can say that. But when we cut ourselves off from God, we also cut ourselves off from ourselves. Then we're just left like little flaky things in the wind. We have nothing to hold on to because it's not the truth. The truth is we were created and we are being maintained and sustained and guided by a loving Father and a loving Mother all at the same time, and a King and an Almighty who just sees everything and knows more about us than we know about ourselves. So if it may be true that there is love in the universe, despite the terrible pain that is present in our life right now, we have to wonder, how do I feel this love in the face of the pain? How do I feel taken care of? Like the title, but who takes care of you? You take care of others, but who takes care of you? What a wonderful question. So in other classes, maybe we have looked at self-care, and I don't even know what was involved in the other parts of this series, right? But in the God conversation, God, are you going to take care of me? Like, are you taking care of me? Is this your care? We can even ask a kind of snarky question. Is this the best you got? This is called care. My suffering is your care. I can't be with that. That's just like, and again, we have this possibility of total shutdown. I want to shut down the heart. I don't know about you, but that's my go-to. I'm like Mrs. Tuffy. I don't disintegrate. It's pretty, thank God, it's rough to get me to disintegrate, but boy, can I shut down. Oh my gosh, I'm the best actress in the world. Even if I was sad now, you wouldn't know. I'm not. But if I was, I'd still be smiling. We don't want to shut down. We don't want to shut out any support. And God is the greatest source of support. He's made this whole thing happen. So what can we do? How can we connect to that source of love when we feel angry or betrayed or just abandoned by that source? And the answer is really, really important. It's really important because it's really important because we are important. We are not just little flaky things in the wind to be tossed about. We are not beings to be played with that awful things should happen to us and we just have to drink it in, take it in, that's what you got. And life is not meant to be bitter. It's hard, it has pain, but it's not meant to be like one giant bitter pill. There's joy and purpose and meaning in everything. So if we are important, then our pain is important and God is important. And we got to somehow find a way to connect the three. So once upon a time, I heard a doctor's account, actually is I think a neurologist, a neurosurgeon, and he had a near-death experience. And his near-death experience changed his life. Afterwards, he had a whole new profession, etc., wrote a book. But the part that I loved in it was where he said, in heaven, this is just his language, just words. I'm not like putting any like Jewish text to it. Just listen to the beautiful words. In heaven, music is the language and love is the currency. And it actually rang true. What else is there if not love? Right? What else is true if not love? So what else is the creator of the universe? Why else did he create us if not love? This is not like we're not a science experiment. We're made from love. That's why a baby is born from intimacy. It's a metaphor for us to show us from love comes creation. We are the product, we are the baby of the product of love. So it really all comes back to love. Somehow, in some crazy way, there is love streaming down to us every minute in the painful moments and in the joyful moments. And we get confused about love because we confuse love with comfort. I feel so loved. I'm cozy in a blanket, and she brought me a hot drink, and I'm so comfortable, and she fixed the temperature for me, and I just feel so loved, and I feel so cozy. Yes, you do, my friend. But do you want to live there in a bed with a pillow and a cozy cup? Is that a life? That's like at the beginning of Willy Wonka. They just all lay in their beds. You're like, this is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. That's not love. Comfort is not love. It feels like it is. It feels like, just, can I please be comfortable? I could really use $1 million. I'll be much more comfortable. Love is not comfort. And that's confusing because we're waiting for the hit of pleasure. We're waiting for the hit of comfort. When's it going to ease up? Okay, well, it does ease up, but that's not the barometer for love. Love is something else entirely. So we've got to explore what is love in order to understand how this is loving. There is a place that is all comfort, and that place is in the next world. We're only here on this earth for 70, 80, 90, 100, 120 years. That's what we got down here. We come to this blip of time to do a job, to be gifted with the opportunity to refine our souls, to be a piece of God in this world, to become godly. Actually, it says that, who are we? Who are we? If God is everything, who are we? Why did he make us? And why does he need us? I mean, if he's God, he doesn't have any needs, right? I mean, does he? No. That's what one would assume. But actually, check it out. When a person makes a piece of art, well, let's put the art on the side for a minute. Imagine a guy who's in front of his house on a Sunday morning, and he is waxing his car. And then he's putting like cool things on the tires, chrome, and he just loves babying this car. It's so much fun. It looks cooler and cooler. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but purple headlights. Like, he's really blinging this thing out. It's so fun. Every Sunday he babies his car. And then comes this one Sunday, and there's nothing left to do because it's done. So it's perfect. The car is perfect. How amazing is that? It's so amazing, besides for one issue. He's got nothing left to do. His fun is over. So one understanding of God is that God is perfect. There's only one thing he doesn't have: the ability to be engaged in the process of perfecting. The process of perfecting is delightful. It's exciting. It's alive. So God is this being, and yet the only thing he doesn't have is imperfection. You see what I'm saying? Like, you finished decorating a cake, you had so much fun with your daughter, you're making little clowns and squeezy things, you had so much. The cake is perfect, but the fun is over. So what did God do? He made us people, and he made us imperfect, and he made an imperfect world. It is not perfection. It does not always feel good. Things show up in really awful ways. And yet, we have this delightful journey here of perfecting. You guys ever have a breakthrough? Suddenly you were nicer to your spouse and you feel so good, or suddenly you were able to do a diet and have self-control and you feel so good. It's like you're perfecting yourself, or you learn a craft or a skill. You are becoming more godly, and that feels amazing. Those accomplishments, that stretch feels amazing. That's what it means to be human, is to be imperfect. So we see from here that love is far from comfort. If love was comfort and ease, God wouldn't make this world, because it's not easy to be imperfect. Oh my goodness, how many times I have to apologize. It is not easy to be imperfect. It shows up all over the place, and pain is a sign of the imperfection. There you go. I should be married and in love, and it should go beautifully. If I was writing the script of the world, two people would fall in love, they'd get married, they'd have perfect children who always treat them right, and they would treat each other right and live happily ever after for the rest of their lives. That sounds lovely. It's just not how it goes. We're in the process of the imperfection. So now, if we understand that, let's take a quick break, because I don't know who's on here. Just check in over here. with me in the chat box that I have your attention, and write down just one thing before we go on to our next thought. Write down one thing that you are taking away from the beginning of this talk, because we've been together for about 20 minutes, just a one-liner. And we always remember that the line that you write down is the line that you remember most. So this is your special takeaway. Okay, Ambra says love is not comfort. Isn't that funny? Funny in all the right ways. God needs us. Yes, he does. He has invited us into partnership with him. When you create an organization like this, an organization of kindness, that's literally perfecting the world for God. You're saying, yes, I'll partner with you. The process of perfecting is the enjoyment of it, not the perfect product. Beautiful, Living. Yeah. Wow, gorgeous. Okay. So now we're going to expand. Here we go. Dive right in. So as we perfect ourselves, what's our goal? What's our actual goal over here? What is the perfecting towards? We know what the car looks like. What are we supposed to look like? So we are meant to look like the most godly version of ourselves. And the way that we get there, by refining our character, certainly, the way that we get to the most godly version of ourselves is by attaching to God. And let's substitute the word God for love, okay? Because it's all the same. The more that we can attach to love, the more that we become more gracious people, more gentle people, more forgiving, more kind, more understanding. God has a bad rap, so we're not even going to call it God. Put it aside. Love. The more that we can attach to love. Okay. So when something happens in our life that's extremely painful, what we have over there is an opportunity. It's as if this love sent you like a golden thread. Hello, I would like you to attach to me. Before you had all the love that you had. But now, come, grab onto this golden thread and climb back up into the arms of love. You see, when we're in pain, it is so wretched. It's like, if we were poetic, we would say, your heart is torn asunder. It's like you can't breathe. What should you do? Should you watch Netflix for 100 hours? There's not that good things on there. Should you eat yourself into oblivion? Should you cry yourself to sleep? Should you drug yourself? We do all of these things. Should you wish upon yourself an early death to be out of the pain? Certainly, we have done that too. It's all so hurting that it literally squeezes us into a place where we have nothing and no one to truly turn to. Of course, we're going to use our resources, but our resources are not coming into bed with us at night. We still lay down in that bed. And we have our own thoughts to be with. I remember when my brother, Levashon, passed away. He was very young, he was 28. And I went to South Africa to be with my sister-in-law for this. I had no clue about loss or death, even though it was my brother. I knew nothing. I knew nothing. I was a baby. I was probably like 21, 22. But they sent me there literally to be a warm body. She needs a warm body in the house with her. Because to go to bed at night lonely or by yourself, which certainly people we do if we have a loved one who can't even be in the same bed necessarily, or is an escape risk, or has physical disabilities, just the loneliness of it at night is so hard. So yes, we'll use our resources, but we need an even deeper resource for all those in between times to accompany us all the time. The heart doesn't stop feeling and the heart doesn't stop beating. So this pain comes and it offers us something. It says, my sweet girl, my sweet boy, my sweet man, my sweet child, I know that you're hurting. And I know that in this hurting, there's nowhere to turn. I send you now an invitation. Come into the arms of love. Come and I will hold you. And so we find out I don't need to regress. I have worked hard to become an adult. I don't need to shut down. There is a safe place for me to put my pain. And I attach myself to love. Now, those are beautiful words. What the heck do they mean? Let's walk it through, okay? We adults are very, very independent. We are super duper capable. We got it all figured out. And it's all baloney. It's all total baloney. We don't know what we're doing. We are good at certain things, but we don't even recognize how needy we are. Oh, do we need validation? We need acknowledgement. We need friendship. Not to mention all the physical things. I mean, when's the last time you got yourself a cup of water? You did not. You turned your sink on, but there was a plumber there. There was an entire city backing you up just so that you could have a cup of water. Like, you can't even get yourself a cup of water. Even that, you're dependent. Even, I love jewelry. I don't know how to make jewelry. Like, everything I have is the product of total dependency on people, that's in the physical sense. And then in the emotional sense, what I know about myself is very, very chiefly what people reflect back to me as I interact with them, right? So we look like we're adults, but in fact, there is a soft little child in there who really needs a lot. And the thing is that you cannot fill a full cup. Love cannot enter when we are so full of not needing it, when we are so full of being capable, when we are so full of our resources, when we are managing well. Love can only enter where there's a space for love. If you've ever had a teenager, you know this very well. You want to love them, and they want to ride to their friend's house. That's all they want. They don't want the mushy stuff. Or you want to love them, and they're angry at you. You know how it is. Or if you're close with someone with depression, it doesn't matter what you say. They cannot receive it. So love is only as good as the receiver. So when I say attach yourself to love, I mean connect with your pain. Know that it's okay to feel all the feelings, to write them down in a journal, perhaps to pray it out loud if that's your comfort level. Obviously, you can speak it out with a friend. You can express this pain in artwork. You can turn on music that helps to open up the pain in your heart, but don't be scared of the pain. That's where the love is. That's where you finally soften away from the great big show that you put on for the world that everything's fine, and allow an actual space for love to enter. And this love, which is the Creator's love, it can hold you. That's a guarantee. It's an absolute guarantee if you'll let it. It can comfort you if you'll let it. In this way, we said love is not comfort, but in this way, it's hard for me to admit. I wouldn't be able to say it if I didn't experience it in my own life. But in this way, the pain is also love. It's not only that love comes to heal and hold the pain, but it's that the pain is a calling to you. Come, I want to give you even more love. I want to hold you even more closely. I don't want you to have to do this alone. That was never my intention. Come, look who you're becoming. The love can hold us. It can hold our pain. And the second thing that the love can do is that it can invite us in to turn that love towards ourselves. And the love towards ourselves goes something like this. Take a look at who you are and who you have become through this unbelievable trial. Look at you. Now, you may not have these words. I'm going to share the words with you so you can give them to yourself And towards the end, we're going to do an exercise so you can find these words for yourself. But we never look towards only one source of love. Love is our oxygen. So we spoke at the beginning about reaching upwards towards God's love and the funnel of light and the golden thread that he's sending to you and how he can hold you. You spoke in other classes about the love that's available in support groups and in friendships, that you can reach out anytime. You don't have to be in this alone. And now we're going to talk also about self-love. And self-love is not the same thing as self-care. It's totally different. Self-care comes from self-love, but let's talk about self-love for a minute. Reality is all in our minds, right? If you step on my toe, I either think no big deal or I think, my goodness, she's not careful, right? It's all up here. Either I'm mad at you or I'm laughing with you. It's all in the mind. So too our perceptions of ourselves. It all takes place over here. Who do I think I am? Now, most of us have a default setting, and the default setting knows how to criticize very well. I pulled off this speech, but it wasn't so good. I should have added that. I should have added that, you know, or I made dinner. Oh, the fries were a little soggy. You know, I look good, but just like 5 pounds less. That'll be better. We are experts at tearing ourselves down and being not enough. I mean, we're geniuses at fault finding. This is a horrible human condition that is meant to be rectified. Because as we said, we're here to be perfecting ourselves. And part of perfection is to have a kind and loving eye. A kind and loving eye that seeks out the positive. That's what it means. So to love ourselves means to take a loving eye towards ourselves as God, the universe, does, and to affirm and witness for ourselves who we are and who we are becoming. Okay, so the words we want to use may sound at first like they are over the top. It may be, I'm not used to this amount of like niceness towards myself, but I promise you that they are the truth. And you will find this out for yourself. But you might want to say to yourself, I'll say it to myself, so I'll demonstrate. I'm going to be really, really brave, and I'm going to demonstrate for you right now self-love. Okay, so I've been speaking for a long time, and I've had many failures in my early days because it's really hard to speak when you don't know yourself. So, you know, there's a lot of warm-ups. So if I were to have a self-loving dialogue with myself right now, I would be telling myself, Rivka Malka, you're doing a wonderful job. You're speaking from your heart. You are making a difference. Rivka Malka, I love how you bring your compassion to everything you do. Those are a few nice words, right? And I would choose those words and I would affirm myself with those words either in my head or if I need a little boost on my phone, I chat it to myself. Rivka Malka, look how kind you're being, right? Look how clear you're being. Chat it to myself and offer myself the love that is true, that I really do deserve. Any deviation from that, any kind of fault finding, it's not the truth. It's not the truth. It's like mixing in the dark places, and it creates more darkness and more toxicity. So when we are, let's say, taking care of a loved one, I'm keeping my eye on the clock now. When we are taking care of a loved one, not only do we want to reach upwards for love, but we want to reach inwards for love, and to notice our unbelievable compassion that we're displaying. Look who you are becoming. Look who you are. Look at your kindness. Look at your devotion. Look at your dedication. Take strength from your own beauty. You don't necessarily have a spouse anymore that can reflect back your own beauty to you, and that hurts, and that's hard, and that's confusing. But you can give those words to yourself and integrate them and become taller, stronger, even while being in the pain. You understand? We have a dual experience. We no longer assume that it's a happy, sad thing. The love and the pain, they're friends. They're friends. They both exist inside of you. So I want to take a moment to ask Libby about our time, because I just noticed it. And I think we're up to an exercise. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. If you're good to start the exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So our exercise is a 3-part exercise that I urge everyone to do. And it's a writing exercise. So you can write on your phone or on a computer, on a paper, it doesn't matter. Okay. And the first thing is to acknowledge the pain. And your words are going to start with I hurt or I hurt from. And you can write a couple of things there. And what I like to do by these exercises is I like to put on a little music. So I'm going to go do that, even though our writing exercise is not very long. It's nice to have a little music. Okay. You can write down as few or as many things as you want. And it sometimes is nice to just write, not even to hold back. You don't have to address every pain, but it's not a bad thing to just get it out. We'll give you another minute. This doesn't have to be related to a caregiver. Life has many things to write about. Yes, it does. And the next thing I want you to write is 6 ways that I show up beautifully. And if you can think of more, you write more. Beautiful. Now for our final part, we're going to be very, very brave, and we're going to climb that golden thread together. And this is what it looks like. There is a word called yearning. Yearning is the softness of a heart that's in pain and available to receive. It's needy to receive. It hurts. It needs help. So to yearn is to climb up that golden thread and to say, hold me, please. And we don't always dare to yearn. We kind of say what is, and we're going to deal. When we dare to yearn, we open up to the love that is holding our whole experience. Okay? So dare to yearn with me, my friends. Write down, I yearn. What do you yearn? What do you yearn for in your life, in your being, in your relationships, for yourself? taking care of someone is that the focus is on them. And focusing on yourself can feel kind of strange and clumsy. What I want to offer you is that your space right now is more internal. You're going through something that nobody else really knows what it's like. Nobody knows your specific circumstance and how your heart feels. And that's actually an invitation to take care of your heart. Not to, manage and ride it out, and not to tough it out, not to focus only on being a caregiver and on the other one. It's happening to both of you. When one person is hurting, it happens to both of you. So one may need a lot of physical care, but you may need a lot of emotional care. And giving that to yourself in these ways, and deepening your relationship with yourself and with your creator, with the possibility of love is what's needed here, and is the invitation for this time. I'm going to turn off the music now. And we're going to be wrapping up and going into some breakout rooms. There's just a few words that I want to say. I'm going to say about the JFCS so that you know what a wonderful resource is there. And I'm going to say a word about yearning, okay? I'm learning about yearning, and it's kind of like, it's a confession of sorts. It's an admission of my dependency on my creator, on life, on all the things that are not in my control. It's a surrender to my softness. I don't want to be so soft. I want to I want to be a rock star. Well, guess what? It's the surrender to my softness. So yearning for some of us, it won't be the right thing for everyone in their time of life, but yearning can actually be a daily practice of offering up your pain. I offer up my pain. I yearn to you, love, creator, whatever it is. It's a kind of a prayer that's extremely powerful. At one point in my life, I wrote a list of yearnings, and I spent the next year watching them all come about. I would pray on it every day. I would say this list and say this list and say this list. And it really actually, things shifted unbelievably. So that is just why you wrote down those yearnings, so that if you want to, you can say them, tap into them at any time. That's your soft and beautiful heart, and it deserves to be listened to. We are wrapping up now, and I want to say thank you for joining part 3 of this special But Who Takes Care of You Wolff Caregiver series through the JFCS. And now I'm going to read to you some information that I haven't even read yet, so prepare to be amazed together with me. Listen up. For over 80 years, JFCS has been serving the vulnerable individuals, seniors, and families in the Bergen, Passaic, and Hudson County communities with their food pantry, kosher meals on wheels, senior services, emergency assistance, case management, relaunch career services, and mental health counseling. See what I mean? That's a lot. The Wolff Caregiver program was created to offer support to caregivers with loved ones suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia. They provide respite care assistance and caregiver support groups to those who need them. Please reach out to JFCS if you have any needs. You'd be surprised with what they can help provide. Visit jfcsnnj.org or call, here's the number, 201-837-9090. And look for an email announcing part 4 of the Wolff Caregiver But Who Takes Care of You series. Okay, my friends, we are going into Yom Kippur now, and please take these yearnings and this experience into you so that you will have a soft heart on that holy, holy day and come as close to your creator as possible. Are we going to go into breakout rooms?
If you want to, you can. We can. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, we have a bit of time right now, so it's a very small group. I don't think that we need breakout rooms, but if anyone wants to share a thought, a feeling, a story, they are welcome to. I would love it, actually. And it is part
You can
of
type in the chat if you want And then I can read it if Rivka Malka doesn't see it.
Oh, it's okay if they unmute themselves, Libby.
That's
Would that
also
be
good
okay?
too, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Linda.
So it's interesting in terms of the yearnings.
I can't hear you, my dear.
In terms of the yearnings,
Yes.
I feel like there are things that in my life that I yearn for, but then there are things that I have in terms of, wanting peace in my family, and the Hebrew as we call shalom bayit, wanting meaning in life, wanting kindness. These are things that I have, but I constantly yearn for. Like I'm always like aspiring to make them even better, or with the people around me. So I find that like it doesn't have to be. We don't have to yearn only for something we don't have. I think it's just to like perpetuate.
Yes. Oh, thank you for that. I told you I'm new in the yearning lessons, so you just helped me a lot. Yeah. Wow. I love it. That's really acknowledging the yearning. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Yeah.
And just if nobody else can say. So it's interesting what you said about that we're so easy to beat ourselves up. We actually mentioned that in the previous sessions that we had. The professionals spoke, mentioned that. And like you said, we're always so good at doing that. And it is very difficult, like you said, I'm just looking at notes I took, to like look inward and find your own strength and beauty, because especially when we go through a hard time, whether it's caring for a loved one or even just our day-to-day relationships, it is really hard to do that. you know so I guess
Yes.
it's another yearning that we could be
It's
able
another
to
yearning,
accomplish that.
and it's a commitment. It's just a commitment. I will not feel bad anymore. I will not feel bad anymore. I will not apologize for being a human being. I will not apologize for being imperfect. I will not. And you know what I discovered? The more you like yourself, the more other people like you. Like, we have a culture of self-deprecation. And I always say the one who complains the most on Facebook gets the most comments, Like, I have a grudge, or I have a sadness, or having a bad day. Everyone loves it. It's like gross. Let's make a happy culture. I do have, I have taken a journey these past 2 years, really is a godly journey, to rewrite my personal self-image, which really was very, very bad. I have a video on YouTube about how I burnt my house down when I was 5 years old, and that really colored my self-image as a very bad person. And that was the beginning of my work, and it was a secret, so I also felt like a faker. And it's been a big work, but one of the things that came from that work was a particular meditation that I wrote it like, how an author says, it just like came to me, it flowed through me, the symphony just came out. It came like that, this meditation, and it's a meditation about God's love, but it's all the same words of love for ourselves. And these are the words that I live into, and I'm going to share it with you. And actually, if we have a few minutes now, I can play it for us. It would be a nice way to end. Yes? Okay. And then you'll have the link to share. And even though it's my own voice, I sometimes listen to this if I'm having a rough morning, because I know it's the truth. And I love the truth of our goodness. Okay. Here we go. And we're going to head in. And it's going to take us to the end of the class. And then I hope that one of us will just wrap up for us, okay? It's not so short. So this is a gift for you. If you need to leave now, you can leave now. And if you feel that you're immersed and want to get a gift for your heart, then please stay. Okay, here we go. It's not a very pretty image. But
Words of love God might want us to hear. For Torah sources supporting these words, go to rivkamalka.com/God's love. Do you know how much I love you? I have loved you since the beginning of time. I will love you until the end of time. There is not one part of you that I don't love. I love your smile, your laugh. I love your fears and your sadness. I love your mistakes, and I love your humanity. My darling child, I made you for my very love for you. You are a piece of me. In you, I see magnificence, power, sensitivity, and caring. In you, I see nobility of spirit and generosity. I see how you give everything you can in every situation. I see how you blame yourself when you can't give what you want to. I wish you wouldn't do that. Please know that you are doing the best you can with what you have. You are on a journey, and the journey includes all kinds of roadblocks and limitations. I placed them there on purpose. Each one is designed to help you slow down and look inwards and upwards towards me. All I desire is to give to you. All I long for is your closeness. In every situation, you have only one choice: to look towards me or away from me. Please look towards me. I have so much I want to give you. I have sent you into a world filled with flowers, trees, and sunshine. I have placed you in a palace of growth and opportunity. Every day when you wake up, I look forward to seeing you, to hearing from you. I lovingly place your soul back in your body and anticipate the wonderful things that you will do with the gift of life each day. Do you know how your smile lights up the world? When you smile at another, your radiance warms their hearts and ignites the heavens to a shower of mercy. When my children love one another, my love for them is ever greater. How dear are your efforts to me. I know that you struggle, for you are a soul, a beautiful, holy soul, sent on a mission to create light in a world that seems dark. Your mission is to create beauty from pain and to become selfless and giving in a reality that tries to tell you otherwise. I see everything. I know everything. I know the secrets of your heart and how you try. I know the small, subtle acts of kindness that you do, and I celebrate them. I honor your tears of frustration for the warrior that you are. You are a magnificent creation. Your beauty overwhelms me. Your essence is holiness and purity. Your greatness is like the sun. You are full of light and love and goodness, and though you don't always know this, I do. You may at times think that a difficult life means that I am not nearby. This is a mistake. Please know this: God is close to the brokenhearted. You who suffer, you are my exalted ones. You know pain and therefore have compassion. You know struggle and therefore have humility. You know loneliness and therefore have kindness. You look out for the one who feels left out. I have not given you pain to hurt you. I never want to hurt you. I love you with all of my being for now and for eternity. I gave it to you because I know who you are. You are a soul destined for greatness. You are one that I count on to bring kindness to my world. I love you for it. I love who you are, and I want to be close to you. When you cry, I cry with you. My child, do you know how I long for your thanks? When you thank me, I know that you have received my love, that you have received the gifts that I am sending you. I long to be seen, for to be seen is to be in relationship with you. Your gratitude brings me joy. I want to give you more and more gifts, and I relish the way that you delight in them and turn towards me with an open heart to receive. Please don't ever doubt your lovability. You are beloved, more precious than pearls and gems. Your deeds build the universe. Your good intentions bring healing and light. Your belovedness is intrinsic. It's who you are, and I cannot get enough of you. Every minute I want to give you more and more. Every second I want you to know of my love. Please look and see. Please notice all the gifts of love I am sending your way and open your arms to receive. Divine Providence is nothing more than me saying, I love you. I want everything to work out for you. I never want you to be ashamed. If you have done something that is not right, you can fix it and move on. If you have caused pain, you can apologize and move on. If you need to work on your character, you can work on it. But through all the fixing and work that you do, please never once think that you have fallen out of my favor. I love you no matter what. I only want what's best for you, and I believe in your exaltedness. I want your teshuvah so that you can return to who you are meant to be. It's for you, my dear, for you. For you to be proud of yourself and to align with me. As for me, my love is constant. It never changes, no matter what you do. I watch you work, and I am in awe of you. You are not only beloved, you are worthy. Worthy of love, worthy of gifts, worthy of friendship, worthy of receiving help. Please, my dear, accept the love that I send you through human messengers. Accept the opportunities to give and to share, knowing that I believe in you. You are worthy of all things good. I never ever want you to think anything less, for any shame within you creates a veil that my love is not felt. I want to fill you completely with my love. I want to wrap you in its comfort and blanket you in its warmth. I want to bring you surprises and delights and miracles. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will never leave you.
That felt good. Okay, my friends, I am signing off here. Does Libby want to end off? I don't know how we're ending.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rivka Malka. This is really special and enlightening, and I hope that everyone else enjoyed. As Rivka Malka said before, we will be having another part. We'll have part 4 of the Wolff Caregiver series. We haven't set a date yet, but you will hear from us very soon, and we hope that you join us. And, you know, if you ever need to reach out, we are really open to everyone and anyone. And you can give us a call or check out our website, jfcsnnj.org, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Linda, and everyone else who worked so hard to make this happen. Allison, Susan, Libby, whoever's not here, Michelle.
Thank you very much.
Siva.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.